Have you ever watched a movie and then afterwards thought, darn, that is 2 hours of my life I will never get back because it was so boring and unremarkable that almost anything else you could have chosen to do with your time, including sleeping, would have been, better than sitting to watch that movie? Yeah, I know I have. A lot of artists are afraid of criticism because, you want to produce something that people will love. But I'm here to tell you the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. For someone to interact with your work and to experience it and be left so unmoved, you've had zero impact. So today I want to talk to my fellow creatives. Hi, I'm Wanjiro Waithaka, a published author based in Kenya. And thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new here, karibu sana. If you're a returning subby, thank you so much for always clicking on my content. I like to look at art, whether you're like me and you're a novelist and you write fiction, or whether you take photographs, or whether you do movies, or whether you're any kind of creative sort of endeavor, okay, or what we call art, sculpture, whatever it is. I like to think of art as two sides of an equation. There is the creation of it, and there is the experience of it. And they're intertwined. You can't have one without the other. Yeah. So as much as we sit down sometimes for years to write a book or to produce that TV show or that film, and then when it is panned by the critics, and we feel really bad because people are hating on whatever it is that we've created. But I want to tell you today, as I said earlier, that the opposite of love is not hate, because hate means that on some deep level, okay, some really, really deep level, okay, someone who interacted with your art was so affected by it, okay, and that's what now motivates them to hate. They'll take a pen and write a really terrible review, or these days what tends to happen is people will go on social media and just tell everyone and his grandmother they have no business watching that film or reading that book because it is terrible. And now they even get personal and sometimes they attack you, which of course is not a good place to be, because who doesn't want to create art that people love? All right? But let me put it this way. I like to think of art as holding up a mirror, okay? As a creative, you're holding up a mirror to society, okay? So that they can see themselves reflected in it, okay? And what they see, we're talking good, bad, and ugly. So you have no control. Once you've created it, you have no control about how people will react to it. So there are those who will laugh, obviously, and they'll tell everybody, please go read that book, go watch that film. It's fantastic. You have to watch this, And then there are those who will hate it, okay? Then there's that other group, which is where I started. They will be completely unmoved by it. The third lot, those are the people you should be afraid of. Okay, because sometimes haters do more to promote your art than even the people who love you. A very good example is Dr. Ezekiel Mutua. Okay, and when he was head of the Kenya Copyright Board, was it the Kenya Film something? One of the things he did is he criticized, I think, 1 or 2 movies, okay? And he felt so strongly about those movies, okay? And he went on social media, and his very considerable following, okay, aided him in bashing that movie. But what happened, okay? A lot of people reacted in one of 3 ways. A, they watched the movie just to spite him because they didn't like him. And then there are those who watched him so that they could get fuel, okay, and petrol to pour on the fire and continue criticizing that movie. And then there are those who would probably never have heard of that filmmaker, but they were so curious, they wanted to know what the hula baloo was all about. So they took themselves to the theater and they watched that movie. So I still consider Dr. Ezekiel Mutua as a one-man marketing machine, because his criticism, which was probably meant to, I don't know, maybe stop people from going to watch that movie, had the opposite effect. It just gave it so much publicity money cannot buy. Yeah? So critics are an integral part of art, because, as I said, the creating of the art and the experiencing of it are two integral, they're intertwined. Every artist needs an audience. Let me give you another example. Remember during COVID? Do you remember, because of we were all isolated and at home, okay, so you had the league, the European League, and we had players, okay, playing to empty stadiums. These are players who are paid millions. So technically they didn't lose anything because the money was still checking to the bank account. But that thing of playing in a packed stadium, people chanting, people cheering, sometimes people booing, that interaction between the audience and the players you can't really replace that. And you could tell the players were feeling it, the energy was low. So you really, really do need an audience. Unfortunately, sometimes, and in this part of the world, the audience who experiences your art reacts so badly, okay, to what you're showing them, what they see reflected in the mirror, that they decide to shoot the messenger. That happens too often. Okay, which is really, really sad. I'm now even just looking at what's happening with Gen Zs. These are very young, creative minds. They have found all sorts of ways of trying to tell their leaders, please stop wasting our future. Please stop, looting money. Please take care of us. Create opportunities. They are using memes. Some have used theater and plays. Some are using cartoons. Okay, some have done skits. Some are just talking and taking photographs. Just all sorts of artistic expression, and they are being bashed. Some have been abducted. Unfortunately, some have been killed. This, unfortunately, is the life of an artist. And a true artist takes the good with the bad. Sometimes that's what happens. As I said, when you're creating the art, it's just you in a room, like me with my computer typing, okay, or writing for those who use pages. Or maybe a musician is in a studio and it's them and the producer and they're just, and the songwriter, okay, just thinking about the song and how it comes out until it's perfect. But once you've released that book or that film or that song, you really have no control about how people are going to react to it. And criticism, sometimes vicious criticism, is part of the process. So I put it to you, love is great, everybody wants that. Hate is actually good, it can actually promote you. What you don't want is for people to experience your art and to be left completely unmoved. They don't share it. It has zero impact on them. They just continue with their lives like nothing happened. So it basically means whether you spent a year or 6 months producing that art, it was a complete waste of time because you have zero impact. That, as a novelist, that is my worst fear. Okay? People can hate my book. Actually, my book, those are the reactions. Some people will love it, some people will hate it. Those are good reactions to my book. What I can't imagine is someone reading that book and being left completely unmoved by it because it means I've done nothing. That is what you as an artist should be afraid of. The question then becomes, because if producing art is as thankless as that, because as I said, it's one thing for people to criticize, sometimes vicious criticism. A lot of the times, you're not even earning money from that art because maybe some pirate somewhere has done his thing. So everybody has watched your movie or TV show and it's not reflecting in your bank account. It can be a very, very tough life to live. So you wonder why on earth do artists persist and keep doing what it is that they are doing? And the reason for that is very simple. Art chooses you, you don't choose it, and you really don't have a choice. When there's a story inside you, and it gnaws at you, your mind, your body, until you have no choice but to tell it. I mean, think of a stomachache. When you eat something that's bad for you, okay? And your body is going to expel whatever it is. It will not rest. Your body will not be at peace until it expels that bad thing that you've eaten. And it comes out in one of two ways, either through your mouth, so you vomit, or through the other side. But either way, it's coming out. So I like to think sometimes a story is like that. It's like you have this stomachache and you will not rest. Your body will not allow you to rest. Your mind will not allow you to rest until you have told the story. So when people ask me, why do you write? I write because I have something to say. It's as simple as that. So I want to quote Sandy Bindra, who very eloquently put it in The Bigger Deal. He was talking about all dreamers, okay, but this applies to artists as well. You would rather go down in flames trying rather than play it safe and never attempt to achieve your dreams. That's a great book, by the way. Go and read it if you can. Thank me later. Thank you for spending time with me. I really do appreciate it, as always. And I'll catch you on the next one. Until then, remember, whatever you do, whatever life throws at you, you keep on dancing. Bye.